Okay, yeah, so that's what you're struggling with.
Yeah, it's like I know I need to eat less and I know how to do it, but somehow I convince myself to eat more.
Yeah. I did a few coaching calls this month with people who follow my channel, and as I expected, everyone I talked to already knew what to do to get to their goal physique. Hit your macros and lift for strength. I mean, how hard is that? But they still wanted coaching. They still thought that there was something they were missing, and that was preventing them from getting results. They ask questions like if they need 20 grams extra protein in their diet. Maybe that's why they're not building muscle. Or if they need to add another day of cardio. Perhaps that's why they're not getting lean. No. The truth is, those things were pretty irrelevant. They were not missing a secret that only elite fitness people know. Their challenge was much more basic: discipline. They were not doing what they already knew they should do. How many of us are like that? How many of us know how to do better, but we don't do it? We know how to lose fat, but we keep eating high-calorie foods. We know how to earn a promotion at work, but we don't go the extra mile. We know we should save money, but we still buy the stuff we don't need. How do you explain that? How come we can't make ourselves do the things that we really want to do? These are our goals, our dreams, our future. Can't we control ourselves? Apparently not. Not even when our lives depend upon it. I recently came across a book called Change or Die by Alan Deutschman. The book is called Change or Die because it presents numerous medical studies that found that upwards of 9 out of 10 people don't change their lifestyle and behaviors, even if the contrary means death. For example, one person is diagnosed with a lung disease. The doctor looks him in the eye and tells him very clearly, "Stop smoking, otherwise the medication won't work and you will die in 6 months." The guy says, "Oh my god, doc, do you think I'm crazy? Of course I won't smoke." 6 months later, he's dead. What happened? Well, he went home that day and the voice started talking to him. "Come on, I'm sure one cigarette won't hurt." He thought about it a little and said, "Yeah, it's probably fine." So he smoked today, and tomorrow, and the next day, and in 6 months he was dead. Studies show that 9 out of 10 people would literally rather die than change their habits. So, is it really that surprising that we don't see many lean people around? That we don't see many successful people around? Is it really that surprising that you buy 6 different fitness programs and apparently none of them work? The issue is not that you don't know what to do to be successful. The issue is that you don't do it.
You know, I've spent a long time studying the subject of why we do what we do and why we don't do some of the things that we'd really like to do.
Modern psychology shows us that 95% of our actions are habitual. This means that 95% of what we do happens without conscious thought. What really controls our behavior is the image we have of ourselves in our mind. That is the pattern by which we live our lives. I learned this from a seminar called You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor, one of the leading authors and speakers on human potential. At one point in the seminar, Bob said something I shall never forget. He said, "The part of you that knows is not the part that controls your behavior. Long-term habit change is never the result of a strong willpower. Long-term results are always equal to your self-image." Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that your life is exactly the way you picture it in your mind? You have as much money as you see yourself having. You have the type of clothes you see yourself wearing. Your home looks the way you picture it in your mind. And of course, you have the type of physique you see yourself having. We become what we think about. Here's a good example for this. I grew up in a very poor town in the eastern part of Romania. As kids playing outside in the mud, we would always rip our pants at the knees. Now, because everybody's parents were broke, nobody thought about how to get a new pair of pants. Instead, they thought about how to fix them. So, the pants became what we imagined: mended pants. Our results in life always follow what we imagine.
What are you going to be in life? A person of frustration? or a person of confidence. And it's up to you to make the decision. When you look in the mirror, you're going to say, what kind of day is this going to be for me, Charlie, old boy?
Maxwell Maltz was the doctor who popularized the study of self-image psychology with his best-selling book, Psycho-Cybernetics. After working with hundreds of patients, he came to the conclusion that our self-image controls our behavior just like a thermostat. During the winter, you set your thermostat to maintain a certain temperature, let's say 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 degrees Celsius. If the temperature gets a few degrees below 70, the thermostat detects the deviation from the set goal and turns on the heating system. When the temperature reaches 70 again, the fire is turned off. Your self-image works exactly the same. The picture you have in your mind is the goal your behavior is programmed to maintain. If someone whose self-image is being overweight loses 20 pounds, their self-image will detect the deviation from the set goal and their behavior will change until they go back to their old ways. Here is a good test to see where your self-image is programmed. Picture yourself at the beach this summer. Do you see yourself ripped and muscular, or as you look now? If you see yourself as you are now, I have a question for you. Did you ever deviate from that image more than a few months or weeks? Probably not. You may have gotten lean for 2-3 months, but then you went right back to your self-image. Now, the way your self-image controls your behavior is by taking the form of the voice of reason. Every time you start getting better results than your self-image, you start hearing a voice in your head telling you why you should stop your current disciplines, trying to get you back to your old ways. Remember the example with the smoker? The voice in his head told him, "Come on, just one cigarette. It can't hurt much." And yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. Usually one cigarette doesn't do much, but in his case, he died. It's exactly the same when people try to get lean. They start getting thoughts like, "I've hit my macros perfectly the last 2 days. I've earned a cheat day," which turns into a cheat week. "I think I can have another dessert today. I'll eat less tomorrow." Or they think, "Wow, I'm getting too small. I should stop cutting." What you must understand is that those thoughts are not yours. They are created by your old habits trying to get you back to your self-image, trying to correct the deviation from the set goal. If this is the case for you, I want you to pay very close attention to the next 2 parts of the video. We will discuss how to make your self-image your goal physique. Our mind is divided in 2 parts, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, both affecting the actions of our physical body. The conscious mind holds our mental faculties: reason, imagination, will, memory, perception, and intuition. This is the part that thinks, that imagines, and makes decisions. The subconscious mind, on the other hand, has a different role. First of all, it controls the functioning of the body, like breathing, pumping blood, growing, healing wounds, and so on. But it is also the place where your habits are located. The subconscious mind takes the repeated actions of the conscious mind and makes them automatic. The reason it does that is so that you can perform those actions without thinking, leaving your mental faculties free to focus on something else. Let me give you an example you can all relate to. When you learn how to drive, all your conscious attention is focused on pressing the pedals, on turning the wheel, looking in the mirrors, checking the dials. In other words, making sure that you don't crash. But if you repeat those actions long enough, they become subconscious and automatic. Now you can probably drive steering with your knee while talking on the phone. When an action becomes subconscious, your conscious attention is free to be directed on something else. Actually, the less we depend on the conscious mind to perform an activity, the better we are at it. For example, pro piano players can play a complicated song on the piano while having a conversation. This is proof of this. Okay, so what does this have to do with your self-image? Your self-image is nothing but a multitude of habits and is located in the subconscious mind. It has been planted there like anything else, through repetition. If you've been exposed to an environment where people always talk about poverty and how difficult it is to earn money, through repetition, those thoughts have been planted in the subconscious mind and became part of your self-image. If you've been exposed to an environment where food is abundant and many people were overweight, through repetition, those thoughts have been planted in the subconscious mind and became part of your self-image. Did you know that the chances of becoming obese increase by 57% if a close friend or family member becomes obese? That's because you're constantly exposed to their way of life, and ultimately that becomes part of your behavior as well. And finally, we get to the practical part. There are two known ways to change the self-image. Number one, a powerful emotional event. We all heard about those people that completely change their lives after a powerful experience. A car accident, the loss of a loved one, public humiliation, an unexpected victory, having a baby, losing your home. Any of those incidents can be life-changing. But we can't control those events. So instead of waiting for something unusual to happen to change our lives, we are going to use the second method. Number two, autosuggestion. Constant spaced repetition of your goal. This is when you repeat an idea long enough that it becomes part of your habitual behavior. Besides emotional shock, this is the only known way of influencing the subconscious mind. Now, for getting lean, I recommend two methods of autosuggestion. Number one, carrying and reading a goal card every day. And number two, constantly watching fitness and personal success videos. Let's talk about both of them.
So didn't you write yourself a check? I heard that you did. Is that true?
I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years, or 3 years maybe, and I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. And I put it in my wallet, and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and stuff. But then, just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million on, I think it was Dumb and Dumber, maybe.
Dumb and Dumber, yeah.
The goal card method is simple. It involves writing your major goal on a card that you carry loose in your pocket, and you read it every day, at least twice a day, when you go to sleep and when you wake up. And the reason you do that is because every time you touch it and you read it, the picture of your goal comes up on the screen of your mind. And if you repeat that long enough, that image will be taken over by the subconscious mind, and it will become part of your self-image. When that happens, the actions that will take you close to your goal will become automatic. They will become your normal behavior.
And that, to me, that vision was the motivating factor. So that drove me to the gym. But almost like it was so strong that I actually didn't need discipline. It just took me there. It just sucked me into that, and to train every day, because to me it became kind of like every workout I do from now on is going to take me one step closer to turning this beautiful vision into reality.
I picked up this idea from Bob Proctor, and he picked it up from Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich. You probably heard of that book. That book is the most successful personal development book ever written. Here's how Napoleon Hill explains the way the goal card works. Any definite chief aim that is deliberately fixed in the mind and held there, with the determination to realize it, finally saturates the entire subconscious mind until it automatically influences the physical actions of the body towards the attainment of that purpose. Your definite chief aim in life should be selected with deliberate care, and after it has been selected, it should be written out and placed where you will see it at least once a day, the psychological effect of which is to impress this purpose upon your subconscious mind so strongly that it accepts that purpose as a pattern or blueprint that will eventually dominate your activities in life and lead you step by step towards the attainment of the object back of that purpose. In this super long phrase, Napoleon Hill explains that if you keep an image in your mind long enough, it will be taken over by the subconscious mind and become part of your self-image. When that happens, the actions you feel like doing are those that will produce the realization of your goal. In other words, instead of getting the urge to cheat and go back to your fat self-image, you will get the urge to stick to your diet and get to the lean self-image. This is what happens when you get a goal card and you read it every day. The image of your goal will dominate your thoughts, and that will lead you step by step towards the attainment of your purpose. For example, I'm currently in the hospital. I've been diagnosed with intestinal tuberculosis. Yeah, that's pretty bad. And I've been here for 2 weeks now. And I still want to work because I told myself so many times that I achieve my goals, that I want to work every day. So I have to film in this park where the birds and airplanes screw my audio, and I'm going to edit this video on my hospital bed.
I want you to get a card, and I want you to move your imagination into high gear, and I want you to write on that card what you want.
I first learned about the idea of a goal card in the spring of 2013. Bob said that I guarantee that if you write a goal on a card, carry it in your pocket and read it at least twice a day, your goal will become reality. When most people hear this, they say, come on, another bullshit infomercial. But I said, hey, why not give it a shot? I'm going to write a big goal on a card and carry it with me every day for 5 years. If it doesn't work, I don't lose anything. Time will pass anyway. But if it does work, I'm going to win big. Because I was still in high school at that time, I didn't know what I liked doing or what I wanted in life, so I just set a financial goal. Everybody wanted money, so there you go. I said I wanted to earn $30,000 a month by the time I'm 25 years old. That goal scared the shit out of me, and I couldn't see how it could possibly happen. But I kept reading the card every day. Because of my goal, 2013 ended up being the worst year of my life. I was living in constant guilt because I was telling myself every day, act, do something, achieve goals, come on, you can do it. But I wasn't acting, I was procrastinating, and I would blame myself every day for that, and I had a constant feeling of guilt. This video is from the New Year's Eve party of 2014.
Haideți să vă arăt goal cardul meu. Acesta este goal cardul meu. Hai, focalizează telefonule.
Bă, Radu, hai, focalizează-i.
Acesta îl port cu mine și totuși, tot cu o bere Ursus am rămas în mine după tot acest timp.
What I was saying there is, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you the goal card I've been carrying with me for a year. After all this talk about success, nothing changed. I'm still in the same position, I'm still with a beer in my hand. That was one of the most depressing moments of my life. But I kept reading the card. And do you know what happened? Yesterday, Think It Lift made more than $30,000 in sales in the month of June because we launched the Shred Smart program. And I'm telling you, what you write on that card and you read it every day for several years will become reality. Believe that. Just get a card, write on it your goal, and read that card every day without fail. And I guarantee, in a few years, it will take a while, but in a few years, you can achieve anything you want. Here's how to write your goal card. Now I know this is a fitness video, so we will focus on that. Number 1, at the top of the card, write your goal and a date by which you intend to achieve that goal. Be specific. It's not sufficient to say, I want to look great. You must be definite so the picture you get in your mind is clear. Underneath that, write what you intend to give in return for that goal. There is no such reality as something for nothing. Your goal will be achieved at the expense of your effort. Number 3, describe the conditions in which you want to achieve that goal. For example, if your goal is 8% body fat, describe that you want to get and maintain that level in an enjoyable way. Having delicious meals every day, eating out, and being free to choose your own meal portions and schedule. If you don't define these conditions, your subconscious mind may get you to 8% body fat, but having you eat tasteless protein and veggies out of Tupperware every 3 hours. And number 4, you may place picture of the people that inspire you at the bottom of the card. That's optional, though I always found other people inspiring, but you may be different. Here's how a fitness goal card might look like. Read that card every day, and I guarantee that your goal will become reality. And auto-suggestion method number 2, you probably heard about the idea that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. That's true, but those people don't necessarily have to be in real life. They can also be online. If you can't surround yourself with success models in person, do it through the internet. Videos, articles, and podcasts. That's what I did. I personally don't have any success models in person around me. If you watch and listen to these people, you will unconsciously start to act like them. Now for fitness, find a few fitness guys and follow them on YouTube and social media. For personal success, I recommend you follow any author or entrepreneur that inspires you. What I personally use to expose myself to good ideas every day is a program by Bob Proctor called 6 Minutes to Success. That program is unique as far as I know. It's designed to send you a short video with a good idea every day on email.
I have studied this for over 50 years, and I know that you and I are creatures of habit. And we get up in the morning and we just motor into a behavioral pattern, and we do much the same every day. 6 Minutes to Success is designed to stop you right in your tracks and get you to think of one idea that you could use today that would improve the quality of your life.
The only drawback of the program is its price. It's $50 a month, but for me personally, it's been really helpful. I certainly gained a lot more from it than I paid. I've been in it for more than 2 years now. You can also find many of Bob's programs for free on YouTube. For example, the Born Rich seminar is available for free on their channel, and that program is awesome. So, to recap, the reason you fail to achieve your fitness goals is probably your self-image. You will never be able to maintain better results than your self-image. To change it, you must use autosuggestion. The forms of autosuggestions I recommend are the goal card method and surrounding yourself with success models in real life and online. Hey, it's Radu again. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably the longest video I've ever done. To download my free physique guide, click on the Path to Your Goal Physique. To check out the personal development program I like most, click on 6 Minutes to Success. And to check out my new fitness program, click on Shred Smart. For more videos like this one, make sure that you subscribe.